10 years ago, on September 13th, 2014, Ramona, the debut project by Kill Bill the Rapper, was released. Kill Bill is a rapper from the middle of nowhere in South Carolina. Bill is in a group with close associate Rav, Square, and some other artists. Rav is someone who I've done a video on before and one of Bill's friends who he met on the early 2000s on Newgrounds, who features heavily on this album. Most people probably found these guys through the Super Mega podcast since they were friends of the show for a couple years, but I'll be the first to admit I simply found them through listening to the music. I think this album is perfect or near perfect and will 100% be an underground hip-hop or lo-fi hip-hop classic album in the future. My first foray with this album was in the fall of 2018 when one of my childhood friends put me onto Dream Eater. And I was like, okay. And then I listened to the rest of the album at the time and was like, no, not for me at all. Then fast forward a year or so and I liked a few more tracks, and then COVID happens. The entire world is thrown into turmoil. I have 2 months of essentially unrequired school, 2 months of spring break, and then I try again. Still no. Was this album just not my thing? I don't know. Was I thinking about how other people would react if I liked this? I still couldn't figure it out. And then my senior year of high school started, and we all went virtual through Microsoft Teams, and I remember I used to wake up at 5 a.m., walk downstairs, let my dogs out, make some food, let my dogs back in, maybe sit outside, eat, watch the sunrise, depending on the month, solstices or whatever. And once I finished around 6 a.m., I'd go back upstairs, binge some YouTube or whatever, start some homework to get ahead, maybe game a little bit. This daily routine, however, included listening to music. So cue me in November 2020 finding Kill Bill the Rapper Ramona full album in my YouTube recommended, and I said, okay, fine. And I just threw it on, no opinions, no thoughts. I let the music play and vibe out, and I loved it. No other album made me feel what I felt that morning when I first listened to the entire project. Every track is a gem and unlike anything else I've ever heard. I think the sound Bill went for on this is just something that nowadays and even in 2014 was so unusual that it stuck out, and to this day, I don't know if anyone's made music that sounds quite like this. Even the Exociety crew and adjacents still haven't managed to recreate what this goes for. I still think this is the best project of them all. The only other projects under the Exociety umbrella that even remotely come close to this project, in my opinion, are Deception Falls and I'm On To Me. Both extremely recent projects. The songs on Ramona are just so flawless. If you like jazz rap and wordy but not overbearing lyricism, this album is something you should have been on a while ago. The album opens up with Backwoods, an awesome track about finding direction in life, which I can recite the first few bars from memory anytime.
Backwoods packages litter tabletops, gone off that shit, my eyes lower than your stable stock. I get stoned and I'm dope, I made a rock. You feeling stagnant when that boat tips, I made it rock.
Then it goes into Hola, a track with similar themes about what he wants to do in life, and then into Fuck, which is a lyrical exercise track, and then into some more story tracks like Chinatown. Back to some awesome raps, and this exchange of 6 rap tracks back to somber story and life experience tracks being juggled back and forth make this album, in my opinion, that much more palatable. Good Luck Chuck works because he's never told a story that dark before or since. About Last Night works because it hits you where it hurts. Summertime The Overflow works because by that song you know it's the end, but you don't want the album to end. The atmosphere this album provides and everything about it has a way of bringing you in that I haven't felt from this album before or since, at least in a long time. When you think of a classic album, you might say, your OK Computer, College Dropout, Illmatic, Revolver, whatever. Not you. You think of the process of making it, the story leading up to it, and if it's the artist's debut, what happened to lead them to this point, what struggles do they endure while making it. And the following is recap from the now defunct We Don't Suck podcast with Bill and Rav. All from memory. I may get a few details wrong, I apologize, but I tried my best. Kill Bill and Rav met on Newgrounds in the late 2000s, originally in opposite cliques that had beef with each other, and then both went on to later squash this beef, make music together, and talk every day, being the best of pals. Sometime Bill decided that he wanted this first real project to be something ambitious. A 3-disc album called Eden. There'd be Eden Black with dark trap kind of stuff, Eden Red with all the bangers and the rapping, and then Eden Blue with mellow, laid-back, down-tempo kind of energy. As a rapper, artist, or even creative in general, you don't start with your most ambition right away. It's kind of hard as a rapper to make a 3-disc album for your first, in the same way the average YouTuber doesn't start out making 4-hour video essays, and I sure didn't start that way. Eventually he settled on Eden Blue, which became what we know today as Ramona. Rav ended up moving to South Carolina for 3 months during the time when the album was being made to hang out with Bill and essentially be his roommate while they made the album together. The both of them went through countless turmoil, including Bill getting mono, Rav being sick all the time, computer problems, life in general holding them back, but overall feeling like the universe was doing everything it could to prevent these two from living their dream. It ended up coming out as a result of Bill just hoping it would be okay after spending too much time mixing it. And I think the album perfectly embodies the energy of a 90s or 2000s kid coming of age, but like I already said, what makes this album stick out so much is the varied yet similar production style throughout. This is a jazz rap experience like no other. Nothing else sounds like this, not in like a Death Grips kind of way, just in like the Tyler the Creator, MF Doom, Earl Sweatshirt kind of way. And if you like any of those artists, you're fucking up by not listening to this. Some of the lyrics in this album definitely make you think that Kill Bill is a huge fucking nerd, but all things considered, he doesn't sound like it at all. His scruffy voice for sure helps, but more so it just sounds like he's from the South, and that's all you can initially tell. I mean, sure, you might see influences in there like Pimp C and Paul Wall. Bill himself even name drops Aesop Rock and Pusha T on the album, so fair enough. But don't sleep on the features here either. Just because the only names here are Rav and Rekadam, and maybe Rekadam's verse isn't the best thing ever, it doesn't mean that the two of them don't bring their best either. Well, Rekadam didn't bring his best, but Rav did really well. Rav is on 4 tracks: Chinatown, Dream Eater, Abandoned 2, and Pork. 5 if you count his ad-lib on Good Luck Chuck, but I don't consider that. And every performance from Rav is nothing short of fantastic. I still think most people prefer Bill overall, and while yeah, that's fair, I relate to Rav's lyrics about mental health much more than I do other rappers who talk about mental health, and that includes everyone. Even like Earl Sweatshirt on some rap songs, the album about mental health. I still think Rav does a better job at explaining depression on his stuff. Sorry, that's just my take. On Pork, I think Rav drops one of his best verses ever on this song.
But I don't wanna live my life calculated, calibrated with society's repetitive karate movements. Yo, my mouth is shoddy, shooting up a body over a student who's been taught how to be human, study hard and don't be foolish. Don't pursue a hobby further than the hobby stupid. You could be a lawyer, doctor, you could drive Bugatti, zooming through the streets with the hottie, sip Bacardi while you do it, slurping on the gas, throw your fouls in the booty of a lady you just met. You been shot at by a cupid, that's what you've decided because pride defines your movement.
And I definitely relate to the lines about not wanting a calculated life and wanting to break the mold and any preconceived notions that other people have about you and what they want you to accomplish without that being what you want to accomplish. The content from Rav on Abandoned 2 is something that resonates with me, but especially his lines about
so what's the point then? Why seek a partner, a house, or employment? If you don't ever experience enjoyment, then all the time you spend just gets flushed down the toilet. Well, really this is just how I see things. Don't find joy in pricey things. Clothes, cars, diamond rings. Yeah, I keep saying that I think so dark and light in me. Every expectation is just so large it frightens me. Tired of this planet, but no stars inviting me. You tell me to speak up, but when I open up, you hide from me.
As someone who wishes to make some kind of a career for myself separate from corporate life out of content creation as a private citizen, I can relate because I feel genuinely crushed by life and the fact that the training wheels are almost off and I'm an adult. I have to decide a career path and make sure I can survive. The expectations of family members and parents push me down without considering what I have to go through. And usually with rap albums, hooks and choruses are important, and so often they're lazily made and are bad or forgettable. I think every chorus here is tolerable, and a lot of them are good. I like the ones from Backwoods, Fuck, Pork, About Last Night, Summertime, but I think the best one here is Chinatown.
I met this girl when I was out. She was
it fits the song and vibe immaculately. I need this Rav nowadays. Well, I don't need the singing Rav and the No, go back to this. Otherwise, don't make a hook or don't make a chorus. Personally, I don't think there's an album quite like this that really speaks to me like this. I think it's an album that was made at a perfect time to really resemble something unlike anything else, and the lyrical content here, while not something Black Thought, MF Doom, or Lupe Fiasco-esque, it doesn't need to be. It has something that those couldn't, and while it can't be Mad Villainy can't be this either. This is probably my favorite album, and I want to thank Kill Bill, Rav, Kubricks, and everyone else who was involved in this album's creation. Happy 10 years. Summertime never ends. Thank you for watching. Shout out Bootleg Soda. Gang gang.